The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Today is Monday, October 4th, 2021. Thank you so much for joining us. It seems as though there is no going back to what was normal before the pandemic because of all of the decisions that have been made by administrations across this country, both Republican and Democrat. Let's discuss this tragic milestone that we've crossed along with all of the other news that is pertinent to our lives. And we begin this morning with On the Clock. Good morning again. Georgia Fort is out. She'll be back tomorrow. I want to begin with the grim milestone that we have crossed in this country. We have officially crossed over 700,000 deaths from COVID-19. The most recent report shows us that in less than a month, we jumped from 600,000 to 700,000 deaths. Rather, in less than 3 months, we jumped from 600,000 to 700,000 deaths. And the scale of suffering is something that is not quite being captured by the media because, well, it is something that doesn't do well in the news cycle. But the scale and the scope of the tragedy is something that we have not seen in over a century because we have now outdone the Spanish flu as it pertains to COVID-19 deaths. How is it? How is that the case when we have the technology? How is that the case when we have the vaccine? How is it the case that so many Americans are now dead and they simply did not have to be? We've been covering that at great lengths on this show and other programs, talking about the politicization of COVID-19, the politicization of social distancing, of wearing a mask. And we even have governors actively ensuring that COVID-19 spreads uncontrollably through their states. Decisions being made by Governor Ron DeSantis out of the state of Florida, Greg Abbott in Texas, Brian Kemp in the state of Georgia. We're now seeing all of these decisions come home in a way, I wanted to say come home to roost, but it's coming home in a way that is devastating our country underneath. It's almost like the veil on top of it gives the appearance as though everything is fine, but underneath, this country is falling apart and people are dying, and they're dying expressly because of the decisions or the indecision, however we need to categorize it, because there have been so many steps, so many people who are culpable in this decision. Health experts say the fourth wave of the pandemic has peaked overall in the United States, particularly in the Deep South, where hospitals were stretched to the limit weeks ago. But many northern states are still struggling with rising cases, and what's ahead for the winter is far less clear. On the positive side of the conversation of COVID-19 is the announcement of a drug that is said to increase the chances of someone's survival by 50%. I want us to play a clip from Dr. Anthony Fauci. And in this clip, he's discussing the new medicine from Merck, along with all of the other issues that are surrounding COVID-19. Let's take a listen in.
So we really look forward to the implementation of this and to its effect on people who are infected.
Yeah, and obviously has a lot of importance when it comes to viruses in general. But you mentioned vaccines before. Are you worried that people hearing about this might say, oh, I'll just take the pill and not get a vaccine?
It is never okay to get infected. You know, you heard the numbers. It decreased the risk of this pill did of hospitalizations and death by 50%. You know the way to decrease the risk by 100%? Don't get infected in the first place.
A new Kaiser Family Foundation poll asked Americans this week what they thought the major reasons for high coronavirus spread are. And the top reason that Republicans gave in this poll was immigrants and tourists bringing COVID-19 into the U.S. Are immigrants a major reason why COVID-19 is spreading in the U.S.?
No, absolutely not, Dan. I mean, if you just look at the data and look at the people who've gotten infected, look at the people who are in the hospital, look at the people who've died. This is not driven by immigrants. This is the problem within our country, the same way it's a problem with other countries throughout the world. The problem is within our own country. Certainly immigrants can get infected, but they're not the driving force of this. Let's face reality here.
Can gather for Christmas, or it's just too soon to tell?
Just too soon to tell. We've just got to concentrating on continuing to get those numbers down and not try to jump ahead by weeks or months.
Now, there was a lot in that clip, and I want to discuss it coming up in a moment with our first guest, because the announcement from Merck is encouraging, considering how we have been on our back foot. Have we been on the defensive for so long? We're going on 2 full years of this pandemic. So anything that we can get that is actually and certifiably a benefit, that is good news. But we're still dealing with the pandemic of ignorance. So many people who are going to wait for some pill like this that's going to increase their chances of survival by 50% versus the vaccine. That said, I want to bring in our first guest, Danny Glover. He is a political consultant, political activist, and commentator. Danny, thank you so much for joining us this early in the morning. First and foremost, how are you doing in the middle of all this? It's been a while since we had a chance to speak.
Hey, what's going on, Benjamin, man? All is well here in Macon, Georgia, just on the ground, making sure we defend the territory, for the fight that's ahead of us. So, but all is good. Thank you for having me on. Glad to be a part of the conversation.
The pleasure is ours. Let's actually start with your work in Georgia, and I want to bring it in and connect it to this conversation about the pandemic, because a lot of the work that has to be done with increasing our vaccination rates across the country, it reminds me of the work that has to be done canvassing door to door, making sure that the people understand the stakes as it pertains to all of the political issues. Tell us what's happening on the ground in your organizing efforts and what you're seeing as it pertains to COVID-19.
Yeah, so basically what we're doing right now, so typically we will fund C3 and C4 political organizations that are working in the space. But what we saw with this pandemic, there's another style of organization that's needed. So now we have organizations like Black Voters Matters. We have other organizations that would normally be doing traditional campaign and political work. They're now stepping into the medical space. They're now stepping into the informational space to make sure that, vaccination information is readily available for, the constituents that they're canvassing, also, COVID testing sites are set up and available, that any resources dealing with this pandemic is being brought directly to certain, districts and regions of the state.
We've been watching that since this pandemic, right? We've seen there's been concentrations in terms of where exactly the vaccine is accessible. I want us to shift gears a little bit here, Dwayne, and I want us to talk about the governor from the state of Alabama. And she has announced that the funds that have been allocated for COVID-19 will instead be used to build more prisons. Now, the absurdity of it, I just kind of want to read a little portion of what she said. She said the Democrat-controlled federal government has never had an issue with throwing trillions of dollars towards their ideological pet projects. This is coming from Ivy. She said in a statement posted on Twitter Tuesday, calling the state's prison infrastructure, quote unquote, broken. The fact is, the American Rescue Plan Act allows these funds to be used for lost revenue, and sending a letter in the last hour will not change the way the law is written. These prisons need to be built, and we have crafted a fiscally conservative plan that will cost Alabamians the least amount of money to get the solution required. And this is coming from Governor Kay Ivey. We've lost Danny momentarily. I want us to unpack this conversation, because in the middle of a pandemic, funds that are being sent to aid states to help them survive the pandemic, that instead is being used by the governor of Alabama, Governor Kay Ivey. It's being used to build more prisons. The absurdity of that notion, I mean, quite honestly, is something, it's kind of galling. I mean, there's a lot of arrogance that goes into being the top official in your state, receiving money for relief and using that for prisons. I got to tell you, it does speak to the prison industrial complex and the way it has its grip on this entire country. How we have not the largest population on the planet, but we have the highest percentage of imprisoned people. across the entire planet. That's because there is big money in prison systems. And we're seeing this right now play out. And it's not only the insult of being so committed to imprisoning people. It's the fact that she's willing to do this in the middle of a pandemic with pandemic funds, mind you. That is anathema. That is something that the people of Alabama should see very clearly. But we're at a stage in political development. We're in the stage of political discourse in this country where we are so far from seeing rational things actually happen. What we're seeing is something that is, to be quite honest with you, is just upside down, inside out. It's somewhere between being the most irrational actions that we've seen from leadership in our lifetime. But when you compound it with the number of people who have died from this pandemic, it's not just an absurdity of our lifetime. It is perhaps one of the greatest absurdities that we've seen in this country's history. And that is how each Republican governor and official is handling COVID-19. I want to shift gears a little bit, and we'll give Brother Danny a chance to come back because we want to talk about the infrastructure bill. Because this is another game that is being played, and it's a game that we go through every so many years, and it is a game of setting the expectations from Americans to not really expect anything from this government, not even funding the government as the president is dealing with the budget showdown, but also building and sustaining the infrastructure of this government. I want to begin with a clip from Susan Page, who is saying that progressives are, quote, willing to risk getting nothing as opposed to accepting half a loaf when it comes to the spending bill. And this is a quote saying the liberals, the progressives, did not blink this time. That has changed the political landscape here. And this is as it pertains to the Progressive Caucus holding the line on the infrastructure package. Let's take a listen in.
Susan, Speaker Pelosi rarely blinks. And the progressives made her blink.
And they made her blink. And, and of course, when you go back to the Affordable Care Act, which was a comparable big victory, let's assuming she gets a victory here, but it was the last kind of big victory where she faced seemingly really difficult odds. The liberals, the progressives blinked on things like the public option. And they did not blink this time. I think there are two reasons. There are more of them. Mm-hmm. And they are willing to risk getting nothing as opposed to accepting half a loaf. And that has changed the political landscape here.
That's the key. We have politicians who are now in Washington, D.C., and this is not to make heroes out of any of our politicians. I think we have to hold every single one of them to account every single time. But we do have politicians who are up there willing to hold the line on behalf of getting what is necessary for us to do what is necessary in this country. It does seem rather absurd that we have to go through this kabuki theater, this game of cat and mouse every so many years in order to simply not only fund the government, but also fund the infrastructure of this government. It's absurd that we have to go through this. But thankfully, we finally have some politicians who are up there willing to hold the line to make sure that this is not just a handout to corporate interests, that the people get what they need. And the people need an infrastructure. Here's a clip of Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez responding to moderate Democrats claiming that only a small faction on the far left is responsible for blocking Joe Biden's agenda. Let's take a listen in.
So one of the very conservative members of your caucus, you referenced conservative Democrats, New Jersey House Democrat Josh Gottheimer, he says you're part of a small far-left faction that, quote, blocked the president's agenda. And yet the president seems to be siding with you guys who didn't endorse him in the primaries over Gottheimer and co. who did, which is kind of amusing to me. What is your response to Congressman Gottheimer?
Well, I do math. And 95, which is the number of House Democrats or House progressives, is larger than 9, which is the number of Democrats who signed on to a letter threatening to sink the entire reconciliation bill back in August, demanding this vote this week for an arbitrary reason. Even the president wasn't demanding a vote this week. And so, would wish that some of our folks were coming to the table the way that we are, but, also tensions get high in legislating and negotiating. It's a natural part of the process, and I wish him well.
Danny, help us to understand not only the importance of this infrastructure package,
one of the very conservative
also
members of your
help
caucus
us to understand. Help us to understand this position that's being taken by the Progressive Caucus, the likes of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the Squad. Help us to understand this a little better.
So at this point, I guess we'll start with the first piece. This infrastructure bill is not, it's important for communities across the city. Even dealing with my hometown here in Macon, Georgia, we have crumbling roads, we have crumbling bridges, we have schools that need to be repaired and rec centers that need to be fixed. So, this country needs to be repaired. This country needs to be rebuilt. And I think Cortez's approach, along with other Progressive Caucus members, is that, we're not, in the game of just giving away concessions at this point. The American people are on our side. We have the American people's support, in saying that, no, we're not, going to falter, to the Republicans or the conservatives or the conservative Democrats, that seem to be holding things apart. So I support their efforts in making sure that, they push the right things that they know that the true progressive Americans want. And, these are issues and comments I hear about every day. They may not make it to the mainstream, so often, but folks are talking about them. They're talking about them, in droves.
And you talk about the infrastructure. I think that's something that's tangible. Every single American understands infrastructure, right? We understand the potholes tearing up our cars. We understand the crumbling bridges around us. We understand the old dilapidated buildings. And why is it that this is the particular game that Republicans want to play? Because this is something that's tangible and the people can really see. Do Republicans really think that this is going to play out in their favor to continue to withhold money from the American people when most of us are driving on those dilapidated roads?
At this point, the Republican Party is just looking for, planks to just, build and organize around. They don't have anything to organize around. That's why they have to create stuff like, we're going to audit the Arizona, election system. We're going to audit Georgia. We're going to, all of these different places. So they're manufacturing ways in which to organize their bases up. So no, I don't think it's going to play out in their favor. Infrastructure is something that a lot of Republicans and conservatives have talked about, in past generations. So no, I don't think it's going to work out in their favor. And really, this is just a way for them to show their base that they're not going along with Biden. They're sticking it to the Democrats. But, in the end, like most of their policies, it's working against them. It's them cutting their nose off to spite their face.
And it's not just Republicans, right? Let's talk about Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, who are the top two Democrats who are blocking progress on everything from voting rights to the infrastructure package. Help us to understand the games that those two are playing.
Man, I think those games are just power struggles at this point. I think between Joe, between Kyrsten, they're just really in this whole era that, they're not going to go with their party. They're going to, they recognize their position and being, this wild card that could be thrown and played at any time. And, and everybody wants to call them. Everybody wants to get their opinions. So I think that's a more so political grandstanding that's not really helping the American people out. And it's not really helping their districts out. Because I've been to Kentucky, I've been to West Virginia, I've been to Arizona. They could stand for the stuff that their fellow Democrats are fighting for. Even some of these Republicans are fighting for. So I don't appreciate it. I think most of the general Americans that I've come in contact, they're not feeling that either, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to play one more clip in this segment, and it's from Senator Bernie Sanders, and he's making it clear that this is not just a wish list. These are things that are worth fighting for because it's what the American people need. Let's take a listen in.
I know what your initial preference was. You believe $3.5 trillion is the compromise, that you started at $6 trillion. But whatever the number ends up being agreed upon, there's a large wish list in the set of needs the country has, but you might not be able to do all of them fully funded. Do you believe in trying to do as many of them as you can, and maybe that some of them are smaller programs and you'll vote on them in a couple years to extend the funding? Or do you think you got to do 3 or 4 things really well?
Chuck, this is not a wish list. Climate change and cutting carbon emissions has everything to do with whether or not we leave this planet to future generations that is healthy and is habitable. You want more workers out in the workforce. We need to reform child care so that 1 million women can come back to work and not have to pay as a family 20 or 30% of their income for child care. We can't have a skilled workforce and do the good jobs that are out there unless we train young people. That's why we want to make community colleges tuition free. This is what the working families of this country want and what the economy needs. The Republicans, of course, are owned by the pharmaceutical industry and the fossil fuel industry. We don't expect them to do anything. But the question now is whether the Democrats can come together, and I think that we can, to finally do what working families in this country desperately want us to do.
Danny, I just want to hear your thoughts on the senator's comments.
Man, you know, I'm definitely a Senator Sanders supporter as his former HBCU outreach director during his 2016 campaign. You know, I think the senator is absolutely correct. Like, you know, we have to figure out, you know, I think it goes back to something more than what the senator is saying, though. It goes back to our identity as a party. I mean, one of the huge things we're struggling right now, is, especially now that we have power, is that we don't have that one central message, that one central idea that we're all moving towards. I mean, if you look on the other side of the aisle, once they get control of all the houses and all the different branches, they move like a centrifugal force towards one thing. When it comes to us, we're all spread apart. But back to what Senator Sanders is saying, is basically like, what are those three things that define us as Democrats? What are those things that we know that we all agree on? We all know that this climate, if we don't start dealing with climate change, that we're not going to have a planet to pass off to our, you know, great grandkids. You know, if we don't start dealing with the crumbling infrastructure, we're not going to have roads and bridges to drive on. So, you know, I think he's totally on point as always. I just hope his message gets to folks like Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, you know, and persuades them to you know, act as a group and let's get some stuff done while we have power.
That's right. That's right. I want to shift back to Governor Kay Ivey in Alabama, where she made the decision to use the funds, the COVID relief funds, to build more prisons. And Danny, I ran my mouth on that. I want to hear what your thoughts are, because it seems to me like it's a slap in the face of every citizen of Alabama.
Man, it's absolutely gross. I mean, especially when you look at, you know, statistics such as Alabama being one of the only states that actually had a decline in population. You know, in 2020, more people died in the state of Alabama than those who were born. And so to know, you know, so to see that data set and to see how money is being spent, I think it's one of the most grossest things I've ever, you know, seen. I mean, Alabama is a state that, you know, I have a lot of affinity to. My family's from Alabama. You know, we come from the Black Belt in Alabama. We're in the Black Belt in Georgia now. So like, I know those folks. I know what needs to be done. I know they have infrastructure problem. I know there aren't grocery stores. There aren't, you know, amenities. There aren't, you know, educational support institutions to support the college students. So, I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's not just Alabama. I mean, there are other cities that may not get as much attention as Alabama, but again, in my hometown here in Macon, we're getting ready to spend $2 million on getting a gunshot sensor that's supposed to pick up gunshots, you know, across the city, but it's only going to be in the Black community. It's only for a small 7-mile radius, and there's no empirical evidence to prove it. So if we really need to get a handle on how these conservative-leaning mayors and elected officials are spending these dollars, because before we're going to look at it, or 10 years down the road when we look at it, a large portion of these funds that should have gone towards people, that should have gone towards rebuilding our communities, we're going to look at that they're going towards to continue to fund the prison industrial complex.
That's right. That's right. And you see all over the internet now videos of the new technology that's being used by the different policing agencies across the country. We've seen the robot dogs be rolled out in New York City. We've seen I guess it's one of these videos I saw is a police, something that looks like it's a truck that turns into a tower and just rams through the entire crowd. Like, so they have plenty of money. They have plenty of money, clearly, for the military industrial complex, I mean, to the tunes of trillions of dollars. But they also have plenty of money to spend on enforcing control over our communities. Help us to understand, then, what do we need to do? How do we take action to turn the tide on these things, man? Because it really it really feels like we're fighting an insurmountable or a battle. Like it's something that we can't win. And as we discuss these things, sometimes the audience gets down. What can you tell the audience in terms of how we fight back?
So I'm going to tell the audience, and I know as someone who's been in the fight and someone that gets frustrated and, I get cynical just as much as anybody else, but like we're really at a tipping point in our democracy right now. Like there's so much stuff happening right now that we can't continue to, do the status quo. It can't continue to be how we're normally accustomed to it being done. So all I would do is just encourage you to stay in the battle, like to take the fight to, that commissioner in your hometown, that mayor in your hometown, that state representative, that state senator, actually start bringing your issues to the forefront, push them through, because when this thing really does tip over, it's going to have to be redefined. And I want you to be a part of what this whole new democracy is going to be redefined as. Is it going to be redefined as a system in which, oligarchs and, corporate America and the haves, have more self-control? Or are we going to redesign this system in a way whereas, the folks who are at the bottom of the pyramid, the folks who are actually keeping this country going and working, we have an actual say. Our communities are first, so I don't have a date. I don't have a timeline, but all I know is I've been in this space for at least 10 to 15 years at this point, and I've never seen it as volatile as it is now. And as bad as it may sound, but sometimes controversy is the mother of all progress. So with everything going on right now, I think there's some good stuff that's going to come out of this. We just need you all to stay active. Take the fight to somebody, start bringing up your issues, keep the fight on the forefront. And once it happens, we just need to be prepared to, take it forward.
Yeah. And something happens, Brother Glover, I tell you, and I know you can attest to this, something happens when you actually go outside, right? Yeah. And talk to people. I know we're in a pandemic, but as you socially distance and talk to people and you're wearing your mask and you're already vaccinated, there's something about going outside and connecting with the people that rejuvenates you. It's being hyper online that is probably the most depressing thing about our fight. Brother Danny Glover, not the actor, but just as phenomenal. Former HBCU outreach director for Bernie Sanders, political consultant and commentator. Tell the people how they can get up with you.
Hey, man, y'all can follow me on all platforms. Danny D. Glover, that's DANNY D. Glover. I would love to connect, love to reach out. If you're in the South, we're only a drive away. So let's connect. Let's grab some coffees in a socially distanced way. And let's keep this conversation going. Danny D. Glover.
Awesome. We're getting ready to take it out and over to the Benjamin Dixon Show. Coming up next, we're going to be joined by Marcus from Left Flank Vets as we discuss more news and politics. We're going to turn it over here to none other than DJ Exclusive as we get ready to take a break. That's all the time we have for On the Clock. Stick around for more on the Benjamin Dixon Show.
People, good morning. It's
Have you ever fallen out of love?
Welcome.
We hide and play dumb, but change the station to push turns into shove. We get so clever
good morning, everybody.
And covering it up. Everyone knows our hearts in their holes. There's water in the boat. Bittersweet words dancing in my mouth, but I can't get them out. Truth is I'm tired of lying to myself. I've been trying to figure out what went wrong. Oh, was it wrong?
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD
Show. Welcome back, everybody. It is Monday, October 4th, 2021. Thanks so much for joining us. We are here joined by my brothers from Other Mothers, as usual. DJ Exclusive on the 1 and 2s. What's going on, man?
Good morning, y'all. What's going on, brothers? Y'all all right?
Is my camera better? Did I fix it? Is it?
Oh yeah, now you're not looking like you got cheap internet, bro.
I appreciate that. And at the last second, I was able to reach out to this brother, Marcus, from Left Flank Vets, one of my favorite shows on the internet. Man, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me. Always happy to be here. I'll make sure to do better and make sure I'm checking my email before the night before. So,
well, you know, man, Marcus, you okay? You know we last minute, bro.
Yeah, hey, I'm on time, Jamaican time. Like, we good. I'm early.
Exactly. You early.
He may not come when you want him, but he was always on time. I appreciate it. Oh, man. Wow. We really all do have the same experiences, don't we? That's it.
Yes.
Because that was a belly laugh. Like, we all were like, yeah, man. Let's go to North Carolina. I want to go to the lieutenant governor of North Carolina by the name of Lieutenant Governor Robinson. Speaking of on time and all that kind of stuff, here he is giving a speech that really obliterates the separation of church and state. But I want you to always, audience, as you listen to this, always listen to this in context of, do they really want all of us to be as free with our religion as they are with their religion? Let's take a look.
Number one thing we need to do is we need to get more connected to the God who gave us our freedoms. That's number one. Number two, what do we need to do? We need to be diligent about who it is that we go to the polls and push that button for. We need to make sure that we are pushing that button for people who are not ashamed to witness for Jesus Christ. That schoolhouse. You know who needs to be down there at them school board meetings? Need to be the pastor. And he need to have a whole passel of his parishioners following behind him. You know, all these people running around here talking about, I want to be on the right side of history. You go on over there and be on the right side of history in hell and knock yourself out. I'll stay on the right side of God. I'll take his side.
Now, there's a lot going on in this clip. This is Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. This is a politician. This is not a pastor. We get accustomed to pastors talking like this from the pulpit, but this is an elected official. And, well, let me just stop there. Marcus and James, I want y'all to get in there. Marcus, you get up first.
I got to say, I almost like went away. You introduced, it's like, oh, yeah, this is the lieutenant governor. Because as soon as he started speaking, it just immediately like, oh, this is the pastor speaking, which is nothing new, but the fact that it is just he's doing it, I mean, it's disappointing to say the least. Like, I'm still kind of just like hitting me, but like, as far as what does this do really for Black people? What does this do for the people in his community? Are they like, because what does that mean? Just like push that button, with the spirit of Christ in you and all these things, because if it's what Reverend Barber is doing with the Poor People's Campaign, which is actually trying to inject love and respect into policy. Okay, down with it. You won't see me on Sunday, but I'll be with you at the polls. I don't know that this dude is saying the same thing.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. No, he's not. James, go ahead.
You remind me of the fat pastor, just the fat man. Somebody saying need to step away from the plate. It's just like. And then you look at the audience, just look at the crowd. I see bald spots, blonde hair, brunettes, all of that. So you see who he's speaking to, and these people are going to eat it up. They love to see that Black pastor mentality. Not even a pastor, but they love to see that Black pastor mentality. And that's what this is. Like, what are you doing up here?
Well, he didn't stop there. There's more. Here's the next clip of the new North Carolina lieutenant governor. And you're right, Marcus. Like, it's once he starts talking, you forget that he's there in the function of a politician. But here's this next clip talking about if we want school shootings to stop, public schools need to teach that Jesus Christ is the way and the truth and the light, and so on and so forth. Let's take a listen.
Wow.
I'm tired of turning on my TV after a school shooting and watch folks come together on school grounds where they done told me I can't pray, but soon as there's a school shooting, everybody's in the church, everybody's down at the schoolyard praying. if you had let God come in that building before that shooting, if you had told those students Jesus Christ is the way and the light, and only through him can you receive salvation, wouldn't have been no school shooting. You done kick God out of your schools. The children don't know whether they're men or women. They're murdering each other with impunity and can't read on a grade level. All because you done turned your back on the wisdom of the man that built that schoolhouse you in. As for this not being a Christian nation, yes it is. If you don't like it, I'll buy your plane, train, or automobile ticket right up out of here. As long as there is a remnant of his people in this place that continues to pray to him and for his wisdom, this will always be a Christian nation. It was established by him. When the founders said those words, when they wrote them down and declared them to the world and told them to a king, that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by who? Their creator, not the Congress, not the Senate, not the king, but by their creator with certain inalienable rights. God Almighty heard that and said, there's a nation I can get behind, so this is still a Christian nation.
Man, I'm going to have to play this clip again when we have Reverend Galloway on with us. Clearly, anyway, I'll say what I got to say. Marcus, what's your take, man?
I guess, for me, whenever I see people just wanting to meld church and state, my first thought is taxes first. Okay, if this is a Christian nation, then I believe the tithe is owed from the church to the government. Now we can play this game all day, but it's a bunch of tomfoolery. I know we can't curse on it. It's a bunch of tomfoolery that is only used to galvanize some of the most conservative people amongst us, right? This idea that we're going to go back to some type of glory days that really never existed for most of the working class people. So yeah, and especially, and I'm happy Bubby pointed out, of all the little blonde and bald white heads in here, because it really tells you this is a song and dance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when they turned that camera around, you saw it was only 3 black people right there, and that's guaranteed that's probably his family. Because everybody else in there was all white people.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, everybody in there looked like a comorbidity, especially the lieutenant governor. I'm like, you know for certain. He's a walking, talking comorbidity in the middle of a pandemic at a conservative event, and they're not taking the vaccine. So
that rag has got Delta, it's got Mu variant, it's got original, it's got all in that rag.
Hey, watch this. It's got the Alpha and Omega.
Gravy, biscuit, butter, everything.
He got the whole Golden Corral in that sweat rag. Buffet. It's a sweating buffet. Oh, man. Are we sure we're not in Like It or Not yet? Here it is. But here's a clip. And here's the thing. I don't care how black this man is. Fact of the matter is this is where we part ways, because his interpretation of his religion is one that serves white supremacy. And this is what I want everybody to focus on. Listen to how they're talking so boldly in their pulpits. And I do say they, even though I am a Christian, I ain't serving that white supremacist Jesus that this brother is serving. That said, I wonder how this lieutenant governor would respond to a sermon like this one. Let's run this clip.
And the United States of America government, when it came to treating her citizens of Indian descent fairly, she failed. She put them on reservations. When it came to treating her citizens of Japanese descent fairly, she failed. She put them in internment prison camps. When it came to treating the citizens of African descent fairly, America failed. She put them in chains. The government put them on slave quarters, put them on auction blocks, put them in cotton fields, put them in inferior schools, put them in substandard housing, put them in scientific experiments, put them in the lowest paying jobs, put them outside the equal protection of the law, kept them out of their racist bastions of higher education, and locked them into positions of hopelessness and helplessness. The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America? No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America that's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating us citizens as less than human. God damn America as long as she tries to act like she is God and she is supreme.
Something tells me he ain't gonna like that sermon.
No.
Marcus.
Dave, play it again, David. No. That's what I mean. Reverend Wright, for for all misgivings that you may have had, that's it right there. Is that you can really only look at this as one way, and I know I've been one to beat up on religion sometimes because of the conservative people who use it, right? But then you end up getting exposed to people like yourself, Ben, people and like Cornel West who can understand the liberation theology and what that can actually give and provide for people, and so that's where for me it was like what Reverend Wright is saying is like, if you actually love people, you must denounce the United States government and all it's done. And that doesn't say, oh, hey, we got to pack up and leave. But no, we must do everything we can. And whatever the catalyst is, if that is, a passage of the Bible, Quran.
That's right.
Bhagavad Gita. It really doesn't matter. What we need is soldiers in the same cause. However you get to that cause, I'm happy you're here.
Listen. Let me tell you the truth. Some of my biggest supporters over the years, I got my start in politics writing the book "God Is Not a Republican," and some of my biggest supporters of the years have been atheists, agnostics. Hell, I have Satanist friends who show and exemplify more Christ-like behaviors than one of these evangelicals that'll be running to on the television screen. So, man, I don't care how you come to the light. We just got to unite with all the good faith actors, because that Pastor James, that brother, that man was on some other stuff.
Yeah, he definitely was. And yeah, if Robinson heard
Wait, and
this,
I said pastor. I said pastor. I'm sorry, that's a posse.
You did. That's why I call him Robinson. No, Lieutenant Governor Robinson. Yeah, he ain't no pastor.
That's right.
He just fat like one. He's like the fat pastors that be in the black church that don't mean nothing and do nothing and just want money and want to pass the offering plate. That's him. Don't have no kind of theological background or degree or nothing. They just get up there saying that money words, okay, and just know how to
around the
exemplify. COVID. You see how it sound? It sound like I'm about to preach. I ain't saying a damn thing.
I can't stand you. All right, let's go from one clown to the next. Let's go to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is suggesting that Joe Biden, the president of the United States, who took the booster shot live on television, saying that maybe that wasn't actually what he did, as he finds ways to maneuver him. I don't know what Joe Rogan is doing here. Let's watch the clip.
When I watched it on TV, when I watched him getting this shot and his mask on, all I could think of was this is performance art. So the next step of performance art would be not giving him the booster, but just giving him a shot. Right?
I think if they were going to give him a booster shot, the last thing they would do is give it to him live on television. What if he dies?
Right.
What if he blacks out? What if he gets hit and faints? Because people have had very bad reactions in the moment for whatever reason.
Right. No, they
Now, here's the thing. Now, there's not a single person on the screen who's a fan of Joe Biden. That said, Joe Rogan, this is what this kind of thing does, and what makes me so upset about it is because it's the seed that this man plants. in the ears and in the minds and in the hearts of millions of people on a daily basis. And so now the conversation is, oh, that wasn't even what Joe Biden really did. That wasn't a booster shot. You guys are all sheep, et cetera, et cetera. We know where it goes from there. Marcus and then Brother Bubba.
Yeah, no, I think like this is something that ties into some of these like libertarian or conservative like media where. And I mean, Fox News, started this, but we're just asking questions, right? But you know what those questions are going to allude to, especially when they have a great understanding of their audience. I don't think Joe Rogan is an especially brilliant person, but this man understands his audience and what they feed into, and how to feed them, right? And so in this clip, what if, right? What if he drops? What if he does this, that, and whatever? And it's like you're touching on anti-vax narratives and also the narratives of Joe Biden is so sickly or incapacitated and all these other things that just even allows to this the shadowy cabal that's actually control. So that's it's this one little oh well what would they give him? It's like they would give him the booster shot.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. What are you talking about? Everybody got the shot on there. Members of Congress, like, were just in a line. All of them posting. They got the like. What are you talking about? This is a completely normal thing. That if people want to get more vaccinated, or people to get more vaccinations, it's a completely normal thing to do. My only issue with it is we really shouldn't be talking about boosters in the United States while Africa is about 3%. Vaccinated. We shouldn't be talking about boosters right now, right? Like we should be, if it's that dangerous, we should just lock it down, keep the people who need to run the country, keep running the country, i.e. people who grow our food, people who are manufacturing the things that we actually need to help the pandemic. But if it's so dangerous, we all need boosters, well, then we just need to lock down and make sure that the rest of the world gets vaccinated.
Yeah. Agreed. Excuse me. When he's talking about the acting part of it, Joe Rogan, you're an actor yourself. So who's not to say that everything that you did beforehand, because we know what your story was all in that, just to make it seem like you're sick or just push that narrative. Because come on, just be honest, you got the vaccine. We know you got this vaccine, bro. Before you can go back in the studio, you got the vaccine. So you're acting, your bad acting is just to push this narrative, like Marcus said, just to feed that audience and feed that mindset. It is what it is. That's exactly what he's doing. Just trying to keep his people satisfied.
That's right. That's right.
At the cost of thousands.
That's right, man. That's right. Because we just crossed over 700,000, man. And that thing does something to me every time. And not to mention that it was 4.5 million across the globe. The people, I got one more clip that I want us to deal with. But Marcus, you said something that really triggered a thought, man. Bro, the people who are getting hurt the most by this are the essential workers who are the backbone of this system, the people who have to keep this going, right? But then on the flip side, you got over in Africa, you got the majority of the continent can't get the vaccine. So you got ignorance compounding here in the United States, which is pushing people to not even get their first shot. And then on the simultaneously, it's like we're hoarding them. We get booster shots. Meanwhile, Africa can't get the first shot. But one of the number one ways they're getting black people to not get their first shot here in the United States is to make it seem as if, oh, this is the boogeyman for black people. But if the vaccine was truly the boogeyman for black people, don't y'all think Africa would be at 100% vaccination rate right now? Just my thought, Marcus. What do you think?
No, I mean, this is where, too, like, when people even talked about vaccine hesitancy, and at the beginning, and like, I got old black parents, right, that understand in the United States of America that I never had to deal with, right? And so we start getting, Tuskegee, and like, they're like, nah, we're getting this vaccine, because like, black people are not dumb. When you see rich white folk jump in lines, it's safe. It's fine.
You said that right.
That's right, man. Listen.
So there, the fact that you have all of this going on, and really, it's like that's it is insidious, really, too. Is like when you talk about like 700,000 people in the United States, 4 million across the globe, and really these numbers too, like even just make me go down the thread of like, why are we so focused on 15,000 Haitians at the border? 700,000 people just died in the past year and a half here. Well, like all of these things, it's just like with all of this trauma and death going on, like the fact that like there's people out there like Joe Rogan, anyone on Fox News that are actually trying to compound that trauma is like, it's messed up. Yeah. It is just, it's evil.
Yeah. And what's wild, James, and we're going to get ready to go to a break here. Like it or not, it's coming up. Rebecca Azor, she's coming in with all of her fabulousness and extraness. But what's wild to me, man, is while these politicians / pastors and / prophets and all these people who are on the television making it seem like they can't see, can they not see that, this is, if there's anything that's biblical about what's going on right now, it's the damn plague, right? They're like this country, clearly our stupidity and us being like, doubling down on ignorance and hardening our hearts. These preachers, can't none of them see that we underneath the plague here? But they out there preaching every single Sunday. Come on, man. James.
Bro, you said a word right now, B. Because it makes no sense. You're absolutely right, bro. It's just the damn plague. Like, legit. It really is. 700,000 people. 4 million across the globe. Okay.
I mean, Marcus, the magnificence of the level of ignorance that is on the national stage right now is clearly going to be written about for centuries to come if the planet is still here. That said, get some closing thoughts on this, man. We're seated in the greatest empire, or the biggest empire in the history of the planet. We are at 700,000 dead in this country, 4.5 million worldwide, and our leaders and our entertainers and our sports ballsmen are all telling us to let's get more COVID-19.
So Marcus, I'm gonna jump in real quick, Ben, but it's not surprising though, because if you look at it, all of the pastors that's spreading this message, all of the leaders that are forcing all this to happen, they getting their orders from that 1% that's controlling everything, and that 1% is like, nah, we need to get rid of some people because some of this stuff is hurting our pockets. So they just following that message they getting from them, and maybe that's me on my,
that's their gospel.
Like, no, that's truth. That's real, because this is and like for real, like. Coming from my perspective, right? I used to be, a congressional staffer. I used to be, a little bug in the government machine. If y'all don't think you've got politicians that are smiling because the amount of Medicare and Medicaid prices, aren't going to be so drastic because so many old folks are dying. If you don't think there are people who are smiling because the budget's going to be a little bit less, like you're just missing the mark, right? As far as what these people in power are actually about. So yeah, that is real, that people are okay, especially too, if like when you talk about who's doing what, if they can't, if a person can't engage in the economy, in which case they see beneficial, they don't care. Or if they think you're replaceable, they don't care.
That's right. That's right.
And I think, and I gotta say too, the Pandora Papers that just dropped, another leak of documents saying that the whole financial industry, right? All the wealthy people are corrupt. They're fooling us. It's a scam, right? What's going to happen after that? These stories should be galvanized people to say, no, I'm not going to trust you anymore, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Man, DJ Exclusive, let's take it to a break. Brother Marcus from Left Lane Vets, what time are you going live today?
I should be live by 2. I might go earlier, depending on what's happening on Capitol Hill. Kirsten Sinema, having having that constituent talk coming to a bathroom near you, I think is going to cause some stirring. So,
Yes.
but we'll be definitely on by 2 p.m. Eastern time, twitch.tv/leftflankvets, or you can find us on the Bird app, Twitter, Left Flank Vets, or at Left Flank Vets. It should be.
Always a pleasure, man. Everyone check them out. Left Flank Vets, 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv. Marcus, thanks so much. DJ Exclusive, it's in your hands when we come back. Like it or not, it's going down.
Brother Marcus, we appreciate you. So thank you again for joining us this morning. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, like it or not. But Queen of Zorg coming up next.
Don't got no heart, I got an icebox. Brandon rolling, so I better G-shot.
It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good.
Against the law to look this damn good.
Watch out now. I'm ready for a good time.
Y'all welcome back to the screen.
The whole band's here and we came to move. Got a fresh
My brother was on the mother, Benjamin Dixon. Ben.
Go
Hey,
ahead,
Ben.
James. What's up, man? What's up, man?
Why can't you hear a book? Can't even get it out this morning. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl use the bathroom?
Why can you not hear a pterodactyl use the bathroom?
I know this one. Ben, I'm going to give you
What
a
is
chance,
it?
but I know this one.
I have no idea. What is it, James?
Because the P is silent.
You know, I was looking up pterodactyl about a week ago, and I could have used that joke because that show was trying to find it with just a T. And no P.
Really, man?
Dead ass, man. It's one of those mornings. It's Monday morning, October 4th, 2021. Thanks so much for being back with us. We're going to take a little segue here for a second. I want to play a clip from one of Donald Trump's favorite people, Lynn Wood. And man, listen, if you just want to understand how far gone this country is, listen to this guy who is like, Donald Trump's, like, he's up there. Listen to him as he brings in a 9/11 conspiracy into the general discourse across this country.
Wow.
9/11, you want to talk about that? Yeah. Let's talk about CGI. You know what that is? Computer graphics generated images. You know what CGI is? You know what deep fake videos are? I know you know what photoshopping is. 2001, the estimate was there was $3.5 trillion. That was the estimate. That had been stolen from the defense budget. They were going to have hearings starting on November the 12th to discuss that money that had been stolen and was missing. That was your money, by the way. And then all of a sudden, on 9/11, what appeared to be a plane hit one building, what appeared to be a plane hit another building. Then later that night, another building fell down that wasn't hit by a deadgum thing. It was the building that went down, Building 7, that had all the paperwork in it with respect to the missing money. And the Pentagon got hit by a missile. There were no plane fragments found anywhere on any of the sites, New York, Pennsylvania, the Pentagon. And they just happened to hit where the papers were about the missing money. There are no coincidences. We got played. We got played by people that are so evil that for money, they killed 2,800 Americans on that day, including policemen and firefighters. If George Bush 43 is not already in hell, then he needs to go to jail before he goes to hell because he is a criminal.
Wait a minute.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. Now, wait a minute. Now, that last part, though.
Wow.
There's a lot going on in that clip. 99% of what he just said was certifiable. But that last second, Because here's the thing, like far be it for me to have anything that I would agree with Lin Wood on, but people are trying to remake George W. Bush, man. People are trying to make him out to be an okay guy. Now, out of all of the total crap pie that Lin Wood just presented to us, there was one little cherry in there, and that is the fact that George W. Bush needs to be in jail. But bruh, it's like he just found out what CGI was and was like, you ever heard of CGI? That's totally what happened on 9/11.
Jesus. Like, my gosh, man. Like, did he just say that? Like, but wait, why would you wait 20 years later to say that? Because you just found out what CGI is? It's like been 20 years. We've all heard the conspiracies. I mean, who has not heard the conspiracies? That the USA was involved, blah, blah, blah. It was a lot. It's a lot of conspiracies out there. But now you're saying that the planes were CGI. And that everything that everybody saw at the bottom, just looking up in the sky, that saw the plane hit, that wasn't real to them? They were just brainwashed.
No, that was, you have to understand, it wasn't only CGI, but they also have hologram technology. Like,
okay, cool. I was just making sure.
Yeah, it was a stealth technology. We need the
hologram Tupac.
We need our conspiracy theory music for this one, man, because it's like he finally watched the Marvel series and said, "Now, how did they make that guy so big and so green?" And his granddaughter said, "It's CGI, Pop." And then he was like, "Damn it, that's how they did 9/11."
Bro, I can't stand you.
That's
CGI,
all I wanted to say. It's CGI. Google it. Do your research. James.
Do you know what Google is?
I know you know what Photoshop is.
Yeah, right. But I mean, honestly, Building 7 did have all the paperwork, right? IJS, I mean, I don't know.
Take us back to a quick break. Now, when we come back this time, like it or not, it's going to start for real. It's going to go down. Rebecca Azor is on her way. We'll be back right after this. Can't stand you, Jake.
KFC Ben is active today. It's not me, see. I be thinking it's me. It's Ben.
What you've been mixing, serve it up the way you please. I love the way you shake, you stir, you hear, you squeeze. So thick.
Y'all know what time it is. Good morning, y'all. Get your coffee, your tea, your drink, whatever it is you need. It's time for
this remix.
9 a.m. to 10:30. Yeah.
That's all y'all get. If you want to hear the rest of it, you have to come to the after party. Patreon.com/like it or not, or BPD/ the Benjamin Dixon Show. God damn, I just messed that all up. Damn. I'm like,
hey, James, how you go out of all the patrons you gonna mess up buying the Patreon.com.
Man, boy. Go ahead, give it, Ben.
Patreon.com/the BPD Show. Listen, I was listening to, is that you rapping or is it somebody else?
It's me. Yeah.
Oh man. Listen,
but the only way that they're going to be able to hear it, that's it. Patreon.com/like it or not, or Patreon.com/the BPD Show. That's it. And now I'll play it for y'all in the after party, and then y'all might get it. The public can get it on Wednesday. Yeah.
All right. Patreon.com/like it or not. I want to jump into a clip real quick. You guys remember the what's his name? Dave Dubenmeyer. He's one of these evangelical pastors who wanted to raise $100 million. James, I think maybe we need to say that we're going to raise $1 billion because even though this guy said they were going to raise $100 million, they only raised $420,000. So they fell a little short, but they did grab a little bag along the way. Let's take a look at the clip.
This isn't some fly-by-night, flimsy little thing we're doing, okay? This is big. And one of the directions we're going to go as well is we're going to find out everybody that gave money to BLM. Every major business donor that gave money to BLM, and we're going to go ask them about their Office of Diversity. Aren't Christians diverse? You're giving money to BLM? Are you giving any money to any Christian causes? Are you guys anti-Christ? Aren't Christians part of the diversity plan and the diversity movement? We're going to badger those folks into funding our war as well. That's our plan. We're going to put this money in the hands of warriors. And I'm believing that 30 days from today, we're going to have $100 million. The left will never know what hit them.
All right, so that was, hey,
damn,
Rebecca Azor.
Thank you, Kevin Hart.
Look at James. That's a hell of a reaction. James came up here looking like
damn. Okay, that's what it is. Damn, I'll take my damn back. Never mind.
Like a orange green Skittle.
Don't do that. You know,
okay,
it's our
she look good as hell though.
You might as well.
Hey,
thank you.
Hey, good morning,
good as hell,
Rebecca
sister.
Azor.
Thank
Listen,
you, Bubba.
We'll tell them about the orange and green stuff in a minute. I want to play the second half of this because this is where he's announcing they only got $420,000. But I'm sorry, that's still a minor bag there. Let's watch it.
The ChristianRevolution.net. We had a great phone call last night with Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. Made a presentation to a bunch of people last night on a Zoom meeting. It was very, very, very effective. And friends, we're about, I don't know, $420,000 maybe we've raised in a month. We haven't really gotten after it much, but we've already hired. Is that the right word? We've hired attorneys. We're fighting on about 5 different fronts right now with attorneys that we've given $20,000 grants to get up and running. But yeah, already we've done that, because one of the things about the ChristianRevolution.net is it's not a charity. It's a what do they call that? Doesn't matter.
Don't matter because he got the bag.
It's not a.
It's not a charity. You heard that too, Rebecca?
It's not a charity. But what is it? So I need to know. Like, what is it? Yeah. I would love to know how they making their coins. Well, we already know they're thieves. They're these people.
Exactly.
It's like he's first of all, he sits there, has all these conversations, for the Christians and the Christian folks. We played once an evangelical here on the show who was boasting about his money and how he can buy out different things. This is what they'll start off and say, it's not a charity, but we're nonprofit and we're this and that, and we're raising money for the good of God, for the good of those
That's right.
Who love Him, and so that we can commune and help the community and fellowship. And when they get the money, what happens? We get those evangelicals that were on that one show that was like, oh, I could buy out such if I wanted to. I could be I got G5s. I got this and that. In the name of Jesus, amen.
That was Jesse Duplantis. He got a plantation name, like that name screams slave master Jesse Duplantis.
It does. Mr. Duplantis said.
He's the one that said, about buying a plane. Yeah. That's the wild thing about it is, and now he's like, yeah, we really haven't tried that hard. Watch this. In a month, in 30 days, they didn't try that hard. They raised $420,000. Oh yeah, we didn't really get after it that much. Saying that, I think next month they might raise $500,000. Like, they got the perfect hustle going on here, because if you're raising $500,000, $400,000 in a month, they're gonna be buying their G5 pretty soon, all off the back and the money of their audience, their people, their parishioners, the people in their congregation. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, I guess that's that. On that, how you doing, Rebecca?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing this morning?
Pretty the very good. First thing that's in my list. I was fine till I saw the very first thing on our list to do, and
you saw it too.
Yes.
Yeah, but I did that because I thought that you guys would celebrate, because this is not me pulling the orange and green on a random day. This is actually our week. Yesterday was the birthday of the illustrious, the prestigious, the school of great Black excellence magnitude, Florida A&M University, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, FAMU. I represent Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, October 3rd, 1887. That's what we like to say over there on the highest of 7 hills, sitting in Tallahassee, Florida. And for me and my house, I hail from the beautiful city of West Palm Beach, Florida. Florida, okay? But my alma mater is Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. If you were to strip me today, okay, and take my blood, it would be orange and green. What they call me on that hill is the Rattler. I represented as Miss Wheatley 2007, 2008 over there on that hill. Such a wonderful time. And look what it has made me. Hold on, Ben. Yesterday was Florida A&M University's birthday. And I just feel that every time a birthday rolls around for FAMU, I just get this, something shoots up in my bones. And I remember when I was over there on that. Yes. And I remember when I was over there on that hill. And I just think about, wow, that's the best decision that I've ever made in my life, is to go to an HBCU. And where they told me to go to PWI. PWI is a predominantly white institution. And no, shade to those schools. But when I went to those schools on tour when I was in high school, they did nothing for me but put us on the football field. And for FAMU, when I went to that school, they literally made us have.
Small. I thought that was a high school marching band.
They hold on.
A little small this year.
We're not going to get there. We're not going to get there. COVID-19, it's real. When I went to FAMU, they gave us mock courses and they made us feel like we were in school. And I learned so much from them. Over the weekend, we did win a game. Listen, I didn't even know we won that game. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Who they played, Rebecca?
We won that game. It was Nick Eden who had tagged me. And I was like, because we don't really go out.
Do you even know who they played this weekend?
And aspire to win games. That's not what we do.
Okay, at all.
I'm gonna be honest with you. We really go and we go perform.
Oh, Jackson State. Y'all, no, it wasn't. Who was that you played yesterday?
It was. Let me see.
Because I saw the halftime show.
ASU.
That's funny because Cookman played them last week, and I think they won. Cookman won that game.
I believe so too. I don't know what's going on with ASU, but they're not doing what they need to do. No shade, no tea, Nick Eden. But what we did do on that field is we gave a good rendition of Chloe Haley's song, and let's see how
Lord have
we
mercy.
did it.
Yeah,
Lord have mercy.
This is FAMU, the Marching 100. Let's look at them.
I will say they had a dope halftime show. I'll give them that.
With the history of Florida A&M, our marching.
But y'all do look a little small. Y'all do look a little bit small. Do y'all have 100?
We probably got 100 out there for real this time instead of about 1,000, and that's all right because COVID-19.
Okay, that's fair.
But honestly, like guys, this is I celebrate, and I probably will celebrate this whole week because we're not able to go and really do homecoming like we used to right now. Right. But Florida A&M, going to this HBCU has changed my entire life. When people say, you always are so excited, or you do the most when you're talking about FAM or whatever. I have to, you guys, because that school made me who I am today. It made me see myself. Yes, please do blame them. When you see how I walk down, if I'm walking down any hallway, any space, any aisle in the grocery store, even if I got sneakers, sandals, or high heels on. Why is she walking like that? FAMU taught me to walk like that. If you were I did Orchesis dance theater at Florida A&M University. I was part of the choir at Florida A&M University.
And you're an excellent dancer as well.
Yes, I am. Mm-hmm. I dance very well.
There's a lot of clips. No, here we go.
So, but FAMU has taught me really just a lot of great things. I will never, ever, ever
I've tolerated as much as I can, James. I did the best I can, man.
I would say I got my nails.
I was going to ask her to show her nails because the nails are like they gave me a podcast.
Listen.
Oh wow!
It's Florida A&M's University. It's a fill-in. Nobody is going to disrespect any HBCUs on today because we know I'm celebrating the number one HBCU in the nation. So there's no need for disrespecting any other schools. I did get my nails done over this weekend, and I wanted to do fall colors, but I thought about you guys. I was like, oh, this is BC. Now BCU's colors. So I said the guys would love this. The guys would love this.
That's nice. We appreciate
so much.
But
Ben,
I noticed that. We came on Hell Wildcats.
Can you guys do me one favor? If you guys do me one favor, can you both say something good about Florida A&M University before we go to the next segment?
No. No.
20th Century Fox. That's all I can say.
Yes. Oh, listen.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Nobody's supposed to be here. 1998.
Beat me. 1998.
Yeah.
1998. Wait. I'm gonna give you 1999. The one with RL, the Deborah Cox and RL. We Can't Be Friends.
Oh Jesus.
Wait a minute.
Let's go further. 2000.
When I say something good, it has to be beyond the band.
Oh, well, that's all we know, y'all.
It hurt y'all so bad.
No, you gotta know that's all we know.
Hey.
Y'all were on rival schools, so all we know is, and especially we in the band.
Y'all learned to hate it so bad.
Listen,
y'all homecoming was fire, but that's it. I mean,
listen. 1997. 4 Seasons of Loneliness. Directed by Dr. William P. Foster.
Ben, are you still on the band? Like our school, it's okay. Well,
Rebecca, that's all we know y'all.
I tell you what.
Contagious.
Cafeteria food.
Ozzy Brothers, Contagious.
I remember Contagious.
My God, today.
Okay.
So shout out to FAMU. Listen, shout out to I have the no, Rebecca, I got a good one. I got the best one. Dang, you just took it away. You just stole my thunder.
She did.
FAMU.
I was waiting for you to say that. I'm like, this man really ain't got nothing to say. His whole wife came from Florida A&M University.
And I have forgiven her for that. And we've gotten a strong marriage ever since I've been able to forgive her for that.
And you know what? And I don't have anything good to say because somebody catfished me from FAMU before catfishing was catfishing. Gonna send me a picture, think he a 10, and that mother sucker was a 2. A strong 2.
Wow, this is supposed to be a celebration, and you guys just have hate. I don't know why.
God dang it.
Okay. Listen. All jokes aside. If I had not gotten a full scholarship to go, 2 full scholarships to go to Bethune-Cookman University, my third choice would have certainly been, my second choice was definitely going to be Florida A&M University. So shout out to you guys. 1867, was it? 1887. What year was it?
It's 1887.
1887. October 3rd, 1887, the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee. Salute, Florida A&M University. And they're marching 25.
And that's anyway. Our marching 25 still sounds better than your marching 1. So, moving on.
Records show that's not true, but okay.
I know you guys were covering COVID-19, which are the precautions that FAMU is taking with their Marching 100. And did you guys, how far did you get? I didn't get a chance to catch it.
Well, we've been covering it pretty extensively today, covering, crossing 700,000 people who have died.
Yes.
In the pandemic. And then the governor of Alabama using the money from COVID-19 relief to build new prisons. You got the new bill, the new drug coming out from Merck that is supposed to help people, save their lives by 50%. So that's good news. But other than that, Rebecca, these people are still out here doing their best to get as many people killed as they can.
It's never going to stop. Like we are just part of a time where it's just stupid people. Like, I think of I bet you the people in the past when all those other diseases were out, like, what was it? Like polio and stuff like that.
Polio. Yep.
When those things were out, they thought that their people in that generation were dumb, but they got through that. I don't think they could imagine how we would just take it just backwards and really take the torch and do nothing, like literally. And I see people, and you know, I'm happy for the people who are taking precautions. I'm happy for the people who are, you know, getting vaccinated. And if you're not getting vaccinated, you're staying home and you're watching and seeing, or whatever the reason you may be. But those who are a part of the issue, who are stepping out of their homes, thinking that that's their American right, who are not masking up, who are going around family and friends. Unfortunately, to those who are considered, and they're still using these words, essential workers, to collect money inside of a building that you don't even have to be in.
That's right.
But calling folks to collect money, even, and I feel bad for those people because they can't even, you know, they can't pull it's, and I'm talking about when I'm shaming those, I'm shaming the corporations themselves because they know that they're just like those Americans who walk out of their house every day and don't give a damn and put people's lives in danger. I say the same thing around those corporations who are forcing those people to go into work and don't give a damn. Like, this thing is real. Let's continue to keep it home until people in the world want a change. If not, then let people stay home. Let's move at that pace. Because people are dying. People got kids. People, like, there's so much of this happening in the world. And then now we're hearing that we have crossed the threshold. We've surpassed 700,000 people dying.
And you know, it's nothing. Go ahead, James.
Right. And I was about to say it was a difference now. It's definitely a huge difference because when they were faced with the polio vaccine, my mom told me it was much different. I think they actually had more sense back then. They were giving kids the polio vaccine in school, you know, and I remember I used to get vaccines at school. So it's a huge difference now. Now it's just made to seem like that y'all have never seen a vaccine before. And that's so crazy to me because we took polio, measles, mumps, rubella, all of that. And now it seems like here it is, COVID vaccine coming. Oh, no, it has a chip in it. It's the mark of the beast. It's a whole lot of stuff. And I just don't understand it. That's why I can't wait for mom to get some more information from mom about it. Because when she told me that, I'm like, what? They pulled up at the school and just gave y'all the shot? Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine what would happen if they did that today? If somebody went to schools to give kids shots of this? I mean, I mean, they would come with their guns. Right? They would come with their Second Amendment right and start an entire war.
They always find a way. They always find that part in the American law, or, you know, just to pull out their rights card, right? Like they say, we pull out our race card. They pull out their rights card every opportunity they can get. And it doesn't matter. It could be the side that they were on before the pandemic, but after the pandemic, they switched sides because now it wasn't representing the American way all of a sudden, right? So now we got to stay masked up. It's ridiculous because if it's not, until it's their child, and even then they will still stick to that red, white, and blue theory of this is our rights, and I get to carry a gun until your child's life is taken, right? I get to not wear masks until your child has COVID. But we've seen, even with those extremists, that they think that they're doing it for America. They are. Do you know how they say do it for the gram? They're doing it for America. They're doing it for America. And they don't even care if their kids are dead and sick. We saw that. We saw a lady say, I don't care. My kid has like the worst case of COVID. My child has the worst case of COVID. And I will not put her in a mask. I said, what the heck? Can child services come get this lady now? Because this should not be something. We're interviewing her. She's saying she's gonna continue to put her kid's life in danger because she doesn't believe that the mask would save their child's life. But she's still taking her kid out into the streets while she's maskless.
These people don't care. They honestly don't care, man. We're gonna be here. We're gonna be in this pandemic for the foreseeable future because, well, I mean, here's the thing. We honestly could be done with this thing. We really could. Like, we could be, but now we're so far going into it. I don't think that there's any going back. There's no more normalcy. There's no more going back to what it was beforehand. There's just those people who are trying to pretend to themselves as though nothing has changed. So they still go to the same places. The bars are still opening, so they feel like everything is normal, right? Their job is still calling them into work, so of course people feel like it's normal. All the while, the bosses and the owners, they're sitting somewhere safe, vaccinated, collecting their money.
And not coming into the office.
They're fighting online about the sizes of yachts and what's a yacht and what's not. Like what's a little boat and what's a yacht, and how much $450,000 isn't really anything. People are making such a big deal about it. That's what they're doing. They're going over to trips while their whole state is in shambles. We've seen that all year, especially in the South. Okay,
especially.
They're fighting over. Yeah, they're fighting over the rights of women's bodies, but they ain't trying to. They do not want to save your life. They are like, get in here and work as we just, do whatever we want to do. And this is my thing. People be like, these people have worked hard to be in their positions. No, they haven't. They worked hard just until, right? They went to go campaign. They did all that. They promised that they would do all of this. They sat in the seat and then they did nothing. These people have not worked hard. They had a plan. They went through with that plan because of their friends of a friends of a friends inside these little fraternities that they have in politics, and they do nothing for you. And we see when stuff does hit the fan, like a whole pandemic and 700,000 people dead, our leaders are on boats. Partnering Senator with Facebook and them.
Joe Manchin on his yacht, right? Yeah. Rebecca, you subtweeted everybody. So you subtweeted Joe Manchin and his yacht and whether or not it's a yacht or not. You got people online arguing about that while he's blocking us from getting the relief that we need, getting the infrastructure package we need. Then who else did she subtweeted? She subtweeted, the conversation online if $400,000 a year is actually rich. And you had a lot of people saying, no, it depends on where you live. I
subtweeted my corporation. I ain't want to say that name.
And then the last one was her corporation.
Stop putting people in these buildings, period. Like, just stop putting people in these buildings while these numbers are rising. In the same sense, can you continue the assistance that you were giving before the pandemic to those people who you call clients? We can't just say the pandemic is over and we are no longer providing you the assistance. The corporation just isn't doing right in this whole pandemic as well. Our leaders aren't doing right. And for those who are working in corporations, our leaders there aren't doing right either. And they expect us to continue on and be okay with this. I will not until, we start, really making money. I can get out of here. I can't say that. I will not stand for it. I will not.
Right. We will not have it, though.
We will not have it, though.
We will not have it, though.
Let's take a look at this. This is A3, Dwayne. I want to pull up this image that Georgia Fort sent to us of a protest in Hawaii, an anti-vax protest. And it's just, how do we win when we're fighting there it is. This the thing. It says, unvaccinated lives matter.
Dang.
Child cheese.
Shout
this is all the way in Hawaii.
You're right.
Y'all could be on the beach, social distancing somewhere, and y'all done. We can't win. The pandemic of stupidity is going to. We're talking about more than another year at this point. Let's just put it into context.
But then it's not
for people who don't care. They never change their way of life anyway. Huh?
Exactly. This is. They don't even care. It doesn't make any difference. My life has changed forever, right? And there are things that I'm gonna do, and there are things that I'm not gonna do anymore. I love people, but now I'm a bit antisocial because I'm like, what the hell you got? It's a lot of people in this room. What the hell he got? Is this a vaccinated only situation? And what are we doing here? These are the questions that I'm asking when I go to the grocery store. If there are ask my sister, we go into a grocery store and it's packed out. I can't shop. I can't food shop. I can't do anything. I have to go home and I have to be a little hungry until, I can go back to the store, and I have to make sure that I'm able to go through the line and ain't nobody there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I have to make those plans. I cannot, and I will not
Our whole supply chain is breaking down before our eyes. I mean,
it literally is.
The empire is crumbling, and our leaders are in Washington, D.C., like, you know, talking about Kyrsten Sinema being a triathlete, like a triathlete. Like, I don't care. Why are we writing profiles of sociopaths who are blocking us from getting stuff done? Media, right? Why are we? You know, it's like the whole country. Y'all have seen the meme. What's the little dog that's sitting in the whole thing is on fire, and it's like everything is fine. That's what our politicians are doing. That's what our leaders are doing. But
yeah,
of course.
Well, actually, and that's how we're. That's how the vaccinated or the whole. That's how those who are actually doing what they need to do are feeling too. We're having to be in our homes and like be like everything is fine for us. But if we step outside of our home, that's where it's at. That's where the fire at. And we don't know if we can get sick. We don't know if we could get shot up. We don't know if we could just be outside and somebody be like, "Hey, ER." We don't know what's happening, but staying in the house seems to be more safe nowadays, but that's not what we want to do. And we want to go back outside. And if y'all want to go back outside, go do what needs to be done. Follow the procedures. Stop complaining. Stop holding up signs outside.
You know what I'm gonna do?
Stop like sending y'all kids to schools where they don't have to wear masks.
Actually, before I say that, James, you were about to say something, man. Get in there, because you know I run my mouth, man.
Oh no, I was about to echo the same thing Rebecca said. It's just like now it's like going different places. It's just anxiety is high. Anxiety is super high. And like a lot of these places have lifted mask mandates, so you don't have to have a mask on. But I'm glad to see that primarily the majority of everybody that's in the store has a mask on, but you still have those few that don't. And it's just like trying to touch everything in the store is just like, I'm so like, I don't know, almost germophobia when it comes to going in the store. I'm like, okay, I don't want to touch this because what if somebody else touched it and put it down and they want it? They didn't put their nose in it. They didn't coughed on it. It's just too many variables. And I ain't got time for that. I'd stay my ass at home.
Man, listen. Let me
what
tell
were we doing before this? We were eating
We were nasty.
I was eating grapes out the store.
At the bar.
Eating grapes out of the store.
What's those buffets? At the all-you-can-eat buffets. Going back.
Oh, God. And just thinking about the buffet alone now, just like Jesus, you used to eat at the buffet.
The kids, they'd be like, what do you want to see, Sarah? Do you want to see? They're like, achoo, I want the biscuit.
That helps you build up your immunity, man. I'm not about to let y'all talk bad about the buffet.
Now, granted, it does
buffets, Golden Corrals. Y'all better start fronting like y'all ain't go to Golden Corral Sunday after church for that.
I did
buffet.
not. That just wasn't my. No, I didn't do Golden Corral.
Quincy's Orion's.
Piccadilly's. I saw Piccadilly's and Golden Corral, and there was another one. But any of those had to be after I left college. I mean, after I got out of my parents' house.
I'm getting my battery, y'all.
Sundays. Because Sundays were always about eating full meals for them Haitians at home. We were not allowed to go eat at no restaurant. That's disrespectful to your parents. But when I did go to Golden Corral, I said, how? How are people doing? I'm looking around. Piccadilly's the same thing. How are people doing this? How are people eating like this? These kids are snotty nosed. The people are snotty nosed. People's nails that are I just was like, I can't do it. But people were really happy, and it seemed to be a family thing that people were doing.
For poor people, you gotta understand. For poor people, like place like Golden Corral is like a smorgasbord. It's like, oh my God, I actually could eat whatever I want. I can do this. I can eat that.
For how much? For was it like $10? Like
no, back in the day it used to be $6.99. I remember the prices, right? So growing up, that's where you used to go, and you could be, for once in your life, you could just get whatever you wanted. But I don't disagree with you at all, Rebecca, because last place I'm going to go, even before the pandemic right now, because, man, these buffets were nasty before COVID. It's like the school classrooms were nasty before COVID, and now they're sending our kids back into these classrooms. Here's the other side of it. I'm thinking about bringing on, and I want to cover a couple more topics here. I want to bring on a couple of people from the healthcare industry, some nurses that are actually on the front line, and I'm also going to bring on a chaplain who works at these hospitals and has had to have these conversations with families, right? And a lot of them who didn't believe beforehand, and then they had to say their last goodbyes through this particular chaplain. So we're going to cover it in depth as we keep going. I want to shift gears a little bit. Rebecca, there was the Bruce's Beach, and it was returned and given back to a black family after almost 100 years. Let's take a look at that clip real quick. As soon as it's available. So
it's been a handshake nearly a century in the making. California Governor Gavin Newsom returning property taken from a black couple to their family, Bruce's Beach in Southern California. The land was first purchased by Willa and Charles Bruce, a black couple, in 1912, a time when segregation largely restricted beach access for blacks. The Bruces built a lodge, cafe, and even a dance hall, open to all. The resort became an oasis for black families to swim and socialize without being harassed, until the safe haven became a target.
Despite all the racial taunts to KKK, the harassment, the burning of their facilities, the taunting and the harassment of their guests, they survived and flourished for 12 years. And it was at that point that the city of Manhattan Beach took it upon themselves to say enough is enough.
In 1924, Manhattan Beach officials seized the Bruces' land, citing eminent domain and plans to build a park. The Bruces tried to fight the city to no avail. They received just over $14,500 for their beachfront property. The land remained vacant for 3 decades. Now, almost 100 years later, a reckoning.
This property was stolen from the Bruces. We're returning what was stolen, what was rightfully theirs.
The state returning the prime real estate to the couple's descendants, who the family says are now scattered throughout the country, some living at or below the poverty line, despite once owning land now valued in the millions.
The family has missed out on about 100 years of income that property could have generated.
Today, this property is worth somewhere around $75 million. And so certainly a lot of money when you think of prime beachfront real estate over the past 100 years. And what's more is people are talking about the generational wealth that money could have produced, sending someone to medical school or law school if they wanted to go, allowing other entrepreneurs in that family to flourish. What the family has been asking for is an apology from the city. And that is something the city has refused to do. They are putting up a plaque at the site to acknowledge what has happened. They are condemning what has happened, but they will not apologize. And today we heard the governor apologize and say that he was doing that, even though the city has refused.
So what happens now with that? I mean, because clearly it looks like it's property and everything there already built there. So what happens now?
I would love to know this as well. That's why I was interested in this, because the conversation that started in the social media space when this first came out was, wow, this is great. They're going to, I don't even like to see this. This pisses me off too. Just seeing how it's like, okay, we'll give them money, we'll give them their land back, but we won't really apologize. That's not our thing. Right. Like the city won't apologize. That's, and that sucks because it means a lot, the fact that they said they want an apology. Years and years, as we heard this woman who was being interviewed about this, stated years and years and years and decades, they said that they were going to seize the land to build the park, although that wasn't even their land to take. That's right. But because the city said that they will build a park there, and they ended up doing nothing with it. And that's what really upsets me. There has been generations of other Black families who have been flourishing. And I told you guys about that show I was watching. A flourishing wine vineyard, Black wine being produced, and all because a Black man invited the white officials there. They literally set it up for those people to be massacred, stating, "Hey, you heard what that man said. There are more Blacks like this. Basically, we don't want them. They can walk onto land and take it There was a time where they could walk onto land and just take it from Black people because they didn't want them to be. It's something about seeing them being able to build generational wealth. Yes. Yeah. And being the producers of their own thing. Y'all had whites only beaches. Where are Black people going to come and have a good time at the beach? Okay. A Black owned beach, but it's like they didn't want us to have, and they didn't want us to produce. They didn't want us to create our own. They just didn't want that. Even today, that apology, even though it doesn't right all the wrongs, but so much generation, like there's so much that could have happened in that time. But all this family is asking for in this particular moment is, I'm sorry, because they know how much that means, especially coming from those who will have to feel the conviction of what their family did.
See, that's the thing that bugs me out, is everything that both of y'all pointed out. Like, that's 100 years of generational wealth that has been robbed from this family. And that means that there are people in this family line who were born and died in poverty because the city decided to steal their wealth from them. See, they can't nobody in this country tell me about Black people pulling ourselves up by the bootstrap. Can't tell us nothing. We got to finish this conversation in the after party, because boy, this thing got me 38 hot. You can't say nothing to Black people about pulling ourselves up by the bootstrap, because when we did it in Rosewood, y'all ancestors burned it down. When we did it in Tulsa, y'all ancestors burned it down. When we did it across the country, when we did it in, what's the name of the city? Rufus Davis was the mayor. What's the name of that city?
Oh, Camilla, Georgia.
Camilla, Georgia.
He's no longer the mayor, by the way. He didn't win. See, he gave up. Awesome. He gave up that fight. So
James said awesome. Listen, we're gonna flip the script. We're gonna go to break, and actually we're gonna go over to the after party. Patreon.com/like it or not. Become a patron. There's a verse. James, can you tease it? Because you were flowing, man. You about to make me dust off my microphone. We're going to play it in full in the after party. Patreon.com/like it or not. That's all I got today, Rebecca. You get the last word, and then James, it's in your hands.
Happy birthday to my alma mater, Florida A&M.
Girl,
for those who don't know what an HBCU is, I saw a lot of you guys saying, "Go get back to the news." HBCUs are news. You guys have to understand. A historical Black college and university will always be news. That's another thing that we had to do for us, because we couldn't be educated. Black folks could not be educated at white institutions, yet we were working their property. So in order for us to be educating ourselves, we had to build our own. And the history of even both BCC, BCU, FAMU, FLOMO, a lot of these other universities, HBCUs, they have a lot of history in starting somewhere that we had to get where we had to go. And a lot of times these white institutions across the way or around the area will try to take even our universities from us, or interconnect them or do something. But there's so much history there. So when we talk about HBCUs on this channel, which we will continue to, because we are all three graduates or people who went to HBCUs, that's our history, man. There's a lot of history that goes into that. So there'll be a lot of teachable moments for those who don't know. I love you guys, mean it.
I just got to say this, though. Don't come on this. Anyway, I forgot where we are. We'll talk about that in the after party. We'll see y'all next
you already
time.
know, Ben, because we're going to stay dropping knowledge about our HBCUs, because there's a lot of history there.
Because we ain't going to have... You know we ain't gonna let her feature FAMU this week, and we not feature Bethune-Cookman next week. So
that's all right. But the difference is, you'll see on next week how I help you guys celebrate. It's just what FAMU does. It's just what we do.
Girl, y'all be dogging the hell out of us, girl. See that damn strike.
Hey, you know what? Let's all get the booster shot and go to pull up at the Classic with some cameras. Let's go do that. That sounds like a
Ben, we never gonna see you. Look, Ben, let's all get the vaccine and be out in the world. Now let's all get the booster.
Now let's get the booster shot.
We ain't never gonna see Ben. We never gonna see.
Well, y'all see me all the time. I just have on a full gas mask. Anyway, we'll talk about this in the after party. DJ exclusive. It's in your hands, man. We'll see everybody tomorrow.
This the only piece that y'all get until you come to the after party.
Y'all know what time it is. Good morning, y'all. Get your coffee, your tea, drink whatever it is you need. It's time for Like It or Not, y'all. 9 a.m. to 10:30. Yeah.
That's all y'all get, man. You know I did, Rebecca. Patreon.com/Like It or Not, or Patreon.com/The BPD Show. Get the remix version today or tomorrow. Wednesday and Thursday. Y'all stay tuned, y'all. We love y'all. We mean it. We come through.
Like it or not, it's starting now. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not,
this made me think of the Johnson. Do it like it's your day.
Oh, Rebecca, it's coming out.
It's like we officially arrived, y'all. I'm saying it's hot girls and boys video chats.
Oh, Benjamin is coming through. That's my dog, all through and through. Oh, I am your DJ exclusive.
No, David, it's just the cheap ass mic.
I am. I stay in the chat room. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, this is about to go down.
Yep. Got some good stuff coming up with the after party, y'all. Like to get to hear the remix of the songs. I know y'all ready, man. Y'all stick around. Oh.
It's going down. Like it or not, it's starting now. Like it or not.
Not noticing, Ear Hustler. We will see y'all tomorrow, man. Hey, y'all, stay tuned if you go to the after party. If not, y'all slide on over to our brother Pascal. So check him out, man.
I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, get no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you on so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they busted your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank. They see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways. Really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it. I've been up, so read about it. No beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it. We'll never see it when I get my feet up. 100 meters where I run the fee up. And go catching and I'm on a pee up. I had to re-up on a pee up, so you stay defeated. Put it back into the bit, cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one
for me, I still won't let y'all close to me. So please
Just
step back
let
where you
them know
supposed
I
to
ain't
be.
hear the dream, because I ain't heard it yet.
For me,
I was gonna send it to Rebecca, but I was like,
my teeth are better than them, and I know my flow too sick. I got the medicine. I'm waking the top.
I'm like, I don't know if I want to send it to
song you made?
Yeah.
Then it's thing, tell them, yeah, that's me.
Y'all ready?
Tell them who bring the fire, say, yeah, that's me. Who make it flip, make it bang, ooh, yeah, that's me.
Okay, y'all, exclusive, just for y'all, It's the remix.
Here we go.
To Like It or Not. Y'all ready for it? Y'all ready?
Yes.
Y'all out here?
Go down.
Yes.
Right. But here you go.
Here you go.
Yeah. Y'all know what time it is. Good morning, y'all. Get your coffee, your tea, your drink, whatever it is you need. It's time for Like It or Not, y'all. 9 a.m. to 10:30, yeah. Like It or Not is on your channel, yeah. Politics and culture, it's we change skin like we're supposed to, yeah. Interviews and all the news, we get to choose what gets the views. Like It or Not, with Queen Azor, it's starting now, so stick around.
Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, Rebecca Azor, it's coming.
He cleaned up the vocals, baby. Vocals are in.
Can they get cleaned up?
He cleaned up the vocals.
good story for you. Oh, Benjamin, that's my dog.
Oh, he cleaned up the vocals, baby.
This is his show. He's a politics pro.
Politics pro.
I am your DJ. DJ exclusive. Y'all know
The dramatic pause. Breath. Control.
I stay dropping them jams. Like it or not, it's going down.
Kick the guy out of the
Like it or not,
Kick the guy with the vocals out of the screen.
Hey, send me the track. Send me the track.
It's starting now.
Okay, he had a word.
Like it or not, it's about to go down. I said, let me get in my
Yeah,
bag.
you gotta send me the track. I'm gonna add.
What you better
I'm gonna add the vocals.
You better do that, James.
Look, Rebecca said, you kicked the guy off with the focus. No, I didn't send it to him yet.
Where is the harmonization? But send that over to me. But I see that you went back in and you cleaned it up. You said I'm going to now focus on getting the correct notes and,
Okay.
and then the dramatic pauses. You said Benjamin. I said okay. So you stopped right there. You said Benjamin because you had the big.
That's my dog.
That's my dog.
Yeah. That's good shit, James. That's good shit. Good morning and welcome to the after party, everybody, where we literally do sometimes we have a script and sometimes we don't. Well, all the times we have stuff and sometimes we just ignore it. Shout out to our producer who has stayed with us all these months of doing all these wonderful stories that we don't even get to sometimes, but that's the nature and the beast.
Is
of the
David
after
here?
Party. He's here, yeah. David, of course.
He been quiet today.
He been quiet.
Just not in the Slack.
He said you're not in the Slack.
Yeah.
I mean, even in Slack, he wasn't doing that much talking.
Hey, James, send me that beat, though.
I got you.
Dwayne, what was that secret that you wanted to let us know last week? Did you?
I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean, should I? I guess. See? So y'all
you should
already
come on
know.
camera and talk about it though.
No, I ain't got my camera hooked up. All right, you know what? Give me a couple minutes. But before the after party is over, I do that. I turn my camera on.
Okay. Get your story together.
Cool.
Make yourself look. Okay. We need to get the coal out your eye and all that stuff. I know you just rolled into that section. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let's start. I got AP0. AP0. I got something for us to start off with. Y'all ever been out partying and we didn't know them at the time as Karens, but like Karen would jump in and start dancing in the middle of you party. Watch this clip.
Wait, no?
Let me tell you, Ben was like, watch this clip.
I sat back. I was all confident. I'm like, yeah, this about to be good.
Clip never came.
All right, go to AP.
We watched it. We looked for that
for
clip.
right now.
Clip did not come.
I gotta set up another one. No, let's go to AP1. No, I'm joking. AP0. Karen breaking up the dance. Let's go.
Krusty Krab.
Wait a minute. What is this?
Oh, stop this video. Stop it.
That is amazing.
Because
that is.
you have to play the video before this so you'll know the original song. It's the SpongeBob.
It's afterwards. I combined it but in the reverse order.
So let's do this. Let me ask you this, Dwayne.
Hey, David.
'cause we got a lot of good stuff this morning. We're stumbling over ourselves because we got whoever that was singing. My God, today. All right.
Yes.
Let's go to AP2. They're imitating a cartoon. So Bubba, you're saying we got to see the cartoon song first.
Yes, the cartoon version, but like David said, it's in the part of it. So you might have to fast forward to the Krusty Krab version with SpongeBob, who's singing the hell out of the song too, and then come back to this one to see what she's singing and what she's talking about. So you'll get the context of it.
AP2 and then AP1. So we get that is two.
The people in the background.
So, Dwayne, the second half of this clip is
like I
what
told y'all, we don't give a
he
damn at
wants
the after
first.
party.
I would just play it as is. They'll get it still.
we are literally negotiating on air here. Dwayne, play whatever you want to play.
Okay. Just play this clip.
Look, now you gotta check it.
James will make it work.
Yeah. So if you can fast forward to where you see the cartoon come in, yeah, because you're not missing anything. Boom, right there, and then rewind it back after that. All right, bet.
Rusty Cray, pizza is the pizza, yeah, for you and me.
Okay.
Now.
All right, so now I'll go back and play the first part of it. Here you go.
Yes.
Krusty Krab. Not the dog looking at her crazy. Pizza is a pizza for you and me.
Rusty Cray, yeah, pizza is the pizza, yeah.
That don't have nothing to do with y'all life.
Nothing at all.
But she sang the hell out of that. Mama was just like, but the mother was like, this is an everyday thing. Here she go.
Right.
Here she go again. Hey, but the second I heard that sister voice, I'm like, oh no, hold up, this is a real clip. That girl
She gave.
insane.
She gave. She did what needed to be done.
It was spiritual.
She knew her assignment.
She understood the assignment. All A's across the board, sweetie.
I was close. I was in the process.
It wasn't J Lo. It wasn't J Lo's. The tornado.
Wait a minute.
It wasn't J Lo's tornado.
Wait a minute, y'all. Wait, we've been together that long? Have we been doing this together that long?
Yes.
Wait, James, matter of fact, you did. Okay, so people can understand my joy right now. That was J Lo. That note that sounded like an alarm, like the tornado siren going off.
The tornado siren.
That's what she's saying at the president's inauguration back in January. Damn, I forgot all about that. Yeah,
and that was a pretty. It was like, who else sang at that? I think Jennifer Hudson. If I'm not, I might be lying, making that up. That might be.
I don't know.
But
I can't remember who else sung that. I know Jennifer Lopez and there was somebody else. I thought.
All I can remember was the tornado going out. Wee, 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 wee. Like Mrs. Officer. All right, we got AP0.
wee. Oh, that's a FAMU shuffle song as well. Shouts out to FAMU. Hey, fam, I see you. Orange and green.
This is what I'm not even going to set it up this time, just in case it doesn't go off. Play whatever clip you got, Dwayne.
I bet it smell like wet dog.
No, actually, what I was thinking is here they go every time. Like, and when I was in Mexico, like you can't just jump in. You twerking and you doing that, and here they come. Just like, and I'm like, I can't. And she's like, how do you just do that? This is my moment, sis. I'm throwing that ass in a circle. And here you come doing shoulder presses and stuff.
She's doing the Marjorie Taylor Greene out there, bro.
Like, this is a whole crip walk moment. And here she comes. Coming in squatting.
I can't deal with either one of y'all today.
Look,
James
Dwayne
Bernard.
ain't no damn Bernard. He didn't call me Bernard. I'm like, who the hell is Bernard?
I had to call you by your
face. I thought you was part of the club.
Oh, wait a minute. Dwayne, your middle name's Bernard?
Yep.
Oh, man, dope. Okay. No. Okay. That Karen, man, I don't even know what to do with that.
Look, Dwayne's like, excuse me.
I was I just pulled out a middle name and I
Bernard
didn't
is
mean
me.
to nail his.
What's that?
I was like, yeah, you called. I'm Bernard. What's up?
That's me.
It's a problem? Pull up.
That's me.
He say, "I take this whole damn stream down. Y'all got a problem with my middle name."
Hold on now.
All right, I hate y'all. What do we got next? AP3, Black Classic you should know in the first few notes. Let's take a look at it.
Black Classics you should know in the first few notes, part 9.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's also a prominent FAMU shuffle song right there.
Oh, Lord.
Florida A&M.
So that's
We have Frankie Beverly and
HBCU song.
Okay,
that's one of those. She ain't even have to play that much of the song. If you don't know that in the first three notes, yeah, you lose your pass on that one.
Yeah.
No, we were good. Like, all she had to do was the first three notes. Bum, bum, bum.
Yep.
Sorry, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, that's Before I Let Go by Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Covered by so many people like Beyonce. But if you're playing Beyonce version at the cookout, like, well, I'll dance to it, but you gotta really, you gotta, and I like the Beyonce version, but it's something about that Frankie Beverly and Maze one.
What you have to do is mix it. You play the original, and then when it comes in, you know a thing, then you switch to Beyonce version. And that's how you put them together, because you have to play both. If you just pull up, now it's one thing if you go to a gay event and you play the Beyonce version, they're gonna go crazy. The gays love Beyonce. Yeah. But now if you had a family reunion, then you definitely have to play the old version and then go into the new version for the young folk, because the young folk love the Beyonce version too.
Don't give away your secrets, Bubba. You gotta keep
I know, right?
Keep your trade secrets to yourself.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We got a new man. Oh,
I'm like, who is that? Joe Budden.
Okay,
he holding the preacher microphone.
Is that
Pascal? Not Joe Budden,
I didn't know he was that light.
Yeah, see, Rebecca be trying to make me out like I look like Bubba Shirt out here.
She do, and I be telling her, I'm like, no, Rebecca, this man light as hell. He like damn near the color of the sun.
Light skin, like was it winter over there? Because that's not. I thought I was skin. You kind of light skin in the dark.
The hand me down mic.
No, so this is yeah. See, this is one I gotta make sure I got a switch on my mic so that I can turn it off so y'all the people not hearing all the crazy stuff in the background.
What's that? The Sennheiser E.
Yes.
What's that, Mark?
I think it's the 335S.
Great microphone. Love those microphones. Dwayne, you're on screen with us, man.
I am. How y'all doing?
Tell us your story.
How y'all doing?
Right.
So yeah, man. Nah, but y'all already know the announcement.
Hey, man, mute Stephen A. Smith in the background before we get a copyright flag.
Hold on. Look, that ain't Stephen A. talking. I told y'all I got other jobs. That's a meeting that I'm on.
Oh no, I was just worried about.
Making sure the picture.
I was worried about the copyright flag because ESPN don't play.
Look at the chat. Look, when you get a chance, look at the chat.
So I got my camera is on my phone, so I can't look at the chat right now. But I'll catch y'all in a minute. But no, so y'all already know my news, and it's good news. The people, I'm gonna miss y'all for the first couple weeks in November, because we having a baby, y'all.
Hey!
End of the month. So
finally we can tell the world.
Yeah,
Jesus.
man. Right, man. We had a baby shower yesterday. It was dope. So I'll send y'all some pictures later. But yeah, nice, so the first couple weeks of November, David gonna hold y'all down, and I'll see y'all after that.
Did you guys pick a name out for the baby? Did you tell you want to tell them what you're having too? Kirsten. Oh, that's such a beautiful name.
Such a beautiful name.
Yeah, man. That's it.
No, but her name. So he's having a girl, you guys. Dwayne is going to be a baby daddy. He's going to be a father. And I think that's it. But we've known for a long time, but we've been keeping it such a secret.
Ben almost gave up news a while ago.
On the stream. Like, y'all don't say that on there. Look, okay.
Oh, hey, but you saw y'all saw how I caught myself in real time. I caught it, so no.
And you thought it would have been me. You thought it would have been me that would have because I run my mouth like water. You thought, but it wasn't me. I was like, he gonna have this baby. We gonna hush our mouth about it, and when he's ready to let the world know. Wow.
It's been 9 months. It's been wow.
We knew from like day one.
I've been cleaning all my guns. I've been looking at some new ones. So yeah.
Are you excited? Like, what do you feel? How's your wife feeling? Like,
we're excited. I mean, we're ready for her to be here. A little nervous, of course, but Definitely excited. Definitely excited.
Now, for people who don't know, I mean, obviously they can recognize your voice if they've been with us any amount of time. They know your voice. This is Dwayne from Done Right Media. He's the man who keeps us looking like the 22nd century. Dwayne, tell the people what it is that you do, and if you can, turn your camera around so they can see that it is. It's not a little thing that you got us doing around here. Oh, Hampton University.
Make sure there's no porn on the screen. Make sure everything is clean.
And shout out to Virginia and Hampton.
Hampton University.
Yeah.
I had to do that. If not, my wife I would have gotten in trouble. They paid me for a long time, and she got a couple degrees there, so we paying it back. But if I ain't do that, she would have had my. But yeah, this was Ben was talking about, like, the whole setup. So it's a little messy up there right now, probably. But
you got a whole damn production studio, bro, in the room.
Right here, there, down here in the house. So
in the basement.
That's how we
do what we do. That's how we keep us looking good. Man, congratulations on the baby. I'm glad that you were able to tell it, and I caught myself about 8 months ago. but man, that's an exciting time.
And Dwayne, Mama Gwen said, "Hey,
and make sure everything is good."
Macha Cherie said, Amara Cherie said, Dwayne is petrified.
No, not really. I'm not scared.
No.
Like I said, I'm just loading up my guns.
She said, God bless his wife. She's been on it. Mara has been complimenting Dwayne. So.
Oh, that's what's up. Well, man, thank you, man, for doing what you do. We're going to miss you. So I'm imagining,
David got y'all. Y'all in good hands. David going to hold it down.
Dwayne, where's the baby? Well, Dwayne, since we are, family virtually, you got to send us the baby registry so that we can send something out for.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll drop it in the chat a little later, in the Slack a little later. But
I didn't tell my mama. That's right. She, Bubba didn't even tell me.
James in trouble.
And she talking about if you need a babysitter, she got you.
Hey, so I ain't even going front. I think I've said this a couple times. Like, I was looking at trying to get me like a mail order bride. We help somebody get a visa to come watch this baby. Cause daycare, we've been looking already. The daycare ain't cheap, man. Goodness gracious.
Hey, listen. No, okay. So at first I was going to be like, man, you try to get us canceled. But true story, man, you probably could pay somebody to be a living nanny for the price of child.
Mama Gwen, we got an extra room in the house. I'm sure Bubba won't miss you for a couple months. You can come on, stay at the house.
No. Wait.
She will do it in a heartbeat. Y'all don't understand. This woman loves to take care of kids.
Yeah.
See?
Come on down.
No. Wait a minute. Hang on. Mama Gwen is in Atlanta first, so and you got a couple of weeks. Matter of fact, you got a couple of months. You're not going to need Mama Gwen until I say about June.
After about
June
6 months,
2022.
Or else she's just gonna be in a little backpack when I got to go to work.
In the meantime, Mama Gwen, let me send you my address because I know y'all vaccinated and y'all doing things right over there. I need to help you with my kids.
Girl, not Hampton. Somebody said Hampton is stealing money from the students. Why you?
I ain't gonna speak on that. Matter of fact, I think it might be time for me to turn my camera off on that.
Maybe it's time.
Ain't that every HBCU? Fam, you had a few scandals going on. I know Cookman did, child. I know it was a couple.
No, I didn't say this. This was in the chat. But if you want to talk about FAMU scandals.
But here's the thing, though. They got the same scandals the PWIs got. It's just the PWIs got more money to keep it in-house.
Come on, somebody. Hello.
Yeah. That's
You're in
real.
the house today, Dwayne. You're in the house today.
You preaching today, sir. Hey, Dwayne, let's pull up this next story.
All right.
The full Florida Gator story. Did y'all see the brother? See, this is why you don't mess with people who wear flip-flops and socks, and because they do crazy stuff like capture alligators with a trash can. Let's watch the full Florida Gator story. Here it is.
Right there.
Yeah. Hey, let me know when the head go on the side. Let me know. Somebody let me know when the head goes on the side of the thing. I got you.
Look at Dwayne getting the alligator.
Right. Did you like Dwayne? No, for real.
I ain't messing with that gator.
Think about that thing in the head.
Only way I'm going after alligators, I got them swamp people dudes.
Right.
They so dumb though. Like the alligator. Well, I can't say the alligator's dumb, but what? Maybe it wanted to be saved.
Rebecca, you silly.
He's taking it.
Maybe it's like, get me home.
Wait a minute. Did you see?
No, it's him coming back with the trash can for me.
Right.
I'm pretty sure, and the alligator is fine, right? There it is. Yeah. Okay, there it is.
Look how he hops away. This is for me. He's like, I'm out of here.
Oh man, that's video.
No, he like, we're taking this trash can back home, baby. It's
okay. Running.
These are not cheap. These are not cheap.
Let's no. Those trash bins about $80. Like, okay, so we're gonna get them things back. Y'all see how he hauled ass in them flip flops and socks? Like that is a skill set. That's like running in heels.
And Buddy from Philadelphia, so you know how the Philly people is. He's like, oh yeah, let's get it.
Wait. Why is that? Listen, I know alligators everywhere, but like that had to be. Oh, he's from Philly. Okay,
yeah, he's from Philly
in Florida. Okay, I was about to say, how the hell y'all got alligators in Philly too? What the hell going on?
Mama said that on an interview, he said he had back problems as well too. So he did all that with back problems. Look at Mama knowing a little bit about these viral clips.
But you can't even tell he got back problems. Let me tell you something. When the adrenaline hits you and you're shining up, when you are afraid, listen, you do anything, like get it out there. You're thinking about your kids. You're thinking about how you got to get to your car in the morning because you got to go to work. You're thinking about how you need to make sure you're able to step outside of your house. Like we gonna get this thing out of here. So I love that. I love that for him. Yeah, this is great to see, though. I think the Gator wanted to go. I don't even think the Gator wanted to be there, to be honest. And I like how he did. So for PETA and all these people who are so worried about animals, listen, he did such a good job, and he freed it back to the water.
And his beer game looked like it's on point. His beer game looked pretty good.
It looked like, okay, Ben, the beard game. And it almost looks like, okay, it's crazy.
No, because
look at the slide. It's a slides for me.
It's the
you gotta
slide.
have the socks and the slides.
Look,
the white socks and the slides.
I just look at this video and realize it could have been me. It could have been me if I lived in Florida.
Could have been me.
No money, no clothes, no shoes. Out there in flip flops and socks.
He hauled ass after he dropped that trash can. He hauled ass. I would have hauled ass too.
Oh man, I love it. That's a great video. Sorry to the listening audience. Sorry to that man. You couldn't see it, but if you go to Patreon, well, if you go to our YouTube channel and the Like It or Not YouTube channel, you can see the video that we're laughing at. It's a great video. That said, we have one last clip. We're getting out of here. We're going to close out with this. Rebecca, get your last word in if you want it. James, our producer, said that you take it away after this. I'm just following instructions. Rebecca.
Yeah, that's fine. You guys can follow instructions, but we're gonna do it like this. I'm just kidding. I'll take the
like
last word because sometimes y'all get beside yourself. Yeah, you're right. Y'all get beside yourself on. Look, do it like it's your B-Day. Y'all get beside yourselves on these shows.
Do it like it's your B-Day.
Happy birthday to FAMU. That's all I really have to say. Monday was cool. I hope that you guys have a great day. Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, the #1 HBCU. Even if you guys don't consider it the #1 HBCU, if you went to an HBCU, we're celebrating together for whenever y'all birthdays come around too. But you will be schooled on the history of HBCUs because ain't nothing better. That's the best decision I ever made in my life.
Amen.
A&M.
Easily. Well, I ain't got nothing else. Let's run AP6 and then we're out of here. DJ Exclusive, it's in your hands. Thanks everybody for being patrons. Patron party this Friday night, 80s theme, right?
Yes, 80s, 90s party. 80s, 90s party.
Wait, I might
Rebecca,
have to
pull up. I need you to come through, sis.
Because I love to do a little show for the
so
people.
We figured out how to get Rebecca to the parties. Make it thematic.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's what I was thinking about. I'm like, hey, y'all, we need to do some kind of theme. So 80s, 90s party is this party. And then how about for the one at the end of the month? I think that's on the 30th.
Halloween.
How about a Halloween party?
Let's do it. I like, yeah.
You know
that. Tunnel vision when I hit the holly. Working on that cause my mind is on an island. Told my babies I'll be homeless, so don't stay up. Breaks my heart to see them sad, so I won't wait.